Yo, it's your boy, Coach D. I'm back with the hottest podcast in the game. You know what it is. It's the Starting Five. It's me. It's you. It's us. Bringing that heat from the SC Media Christian Network, where we look to bless you and bring fresh and new content every week. Every week. Not some weeks, but every week. But as always, you know what I got. I got at least 5 topics. We might get to 5. We might only get to 2. But it's going to be good, regardless. And I'm going to try my best to be good for you and give you something entertaining for you to take with you and listen to on your drive or whenever you just get some downtime. So let's get started, as always. But before I get started this week, my heart is a little heavy. Recently had a passing in my family. And my father-in-law, Gus Stone. And Gus Stone's a good man. And I'd like to dedicate this show to him on his honor and on his name. Big sports fan. He loves something like this. He'd be proud of me doing something like this. And we're going to be celebrating his life this coming Saturday. And just keep the family in prayer. For Gus Stone, my mother-in-law, my wife, and my brother-in-laws, and the whole family. So like I said, we're going to dedicate this one for Gus, man. It's for you, Gus, baby. Rest up, soldier. I love you. First going to come from Psalms 31, chapter 31, verse 24. Be strong and let your heart take courage, all you who wait for the Lord. Amen. All right, let's get started. Last Dance, final episodes, 9 and 10. What did you think about it? I know what I thought about it. I thought it was a nice little wrap up to the whole series. I'm like you, I'm sad it's over because now it's back to nothing again to watch. You know, the other sports are talking about coming back, but they're still not back. I don't watch Korean baseball. I'm sorry. Nothing against the Koreans. They done nothing to me. I just ain't watching no Korean baseball. It's really just that simple. Why watching no Korean baseball? And UFC is okay. You know, UFC is okay. I know they're doing a few little things, but it's all right. I just ain't a UFC dude like that. I'm more of a boxing fan myself. But back to The Last Dance, episodes 9 and 10. You know, everybody is sort of anticlimactic. If you my age, you know, you're a 40-year-old person or older, in mid-30s, at least 30, you knew what was gonna happen. You know how this play out. The Bulls get that last championship, everything break up. But everybody talking about, obviously, the whole notion of the Bulls staying together and could they have gotten another championship. I'm probably gonna be in the minority here. I don't think the Bulls win another championship. I think the Bulls was done in 98. I think Michael Jordan obviously was still good. He was the MVP. He was the finals MVP. But if you look at a lot of those guys after that year, they was never the same ball player. Now, a lot of those guys had a lot of wear and tear, and they just never was able to contribute to the levels that they once was. Most importantly, Scottie. Scottie Pippen never had another Scottie Pippen year with any team he played for after he left the Bulls, whether it was Houston Rockets or the Portland Trail Blazers. He was never the same ball player. Never. He just wasn't. You know, his body started to betray him some. He was having more and more issues with his aches and pains. So, you know, and to me, it's actually one of those things. I know folks say they wish it would have happened. Folks wish they'd have kept playing. But the way people talk about it 20 years later, it's actually to the betterment of Michael Jordan, because they'd have lost. If they'd have made it to that finals, they probably would have lost if they'd have got that far to play the Spurs. And then if they lose, then all of a sudden the whole thing that everybody always champions is 6-0. That's all people ever tell you. 6-0. 6-6, 6 championships, 6 finals MVP. But then if all of a sudden it's 6-1, then they don't have the same ring to it no more. So it's one of those things where it probably was for the best that the Bulls went their separate ways. Reinsdorf already made it known he didn't think much of putting the money back into the team at that time. He wasn't believing in it. He didn't think the guys had the value of investing in them for additional years. So he kind of had made his mind up. He pretty much had made his mind up. And, guys wanted to go. I believe Phil Jackson, in his own way, he didn't have a problem with leaving. He could see that the team was not the same no more. He knew their best years was behind them. That was an old team. Dennis Rodman was like 36 years old, 35, 36, 36 going on 37 years old. That's an old ball player, man. You watch them in that finals. We remember that they won. Watch, if you get a chance, if you ever just got free time, watch all those games. Not the season. Watch the finals and the series against the Pacers. Guys wasn't looking good like they used to look no more, man. Dennis Rodman was getting manhandled by Karl Malone. So you would have had to find a way to replace Dennis. And that wasn't going to be an easy fix because Dennis was a lifesaver. We don't win them last 3 championships if Dennis don't get traded to the Bulls. So just to say, well, you can find another power forward. No, you can't. You ain't going to just find nobody that was as good as Dennis was when Dennis was right. That would have been a lot to do in the offseason. And nobody just trying to do the Bulls no favors after they done kept whooping everybody for the last decade. So, you just got to take a lot of those things into consideration, all together for the Bulls. It was going to be tough. So I'm not glad they stopped when they did because in live time, I wanted them to play again till it ended. But I was also 20 years younger and didn't know no better. Didn't understand didn't understand the wear and tear of the team and see what that actually does. And I'm old enough now to be able to see what that looks like on ball players versus just being a fan of ball players. I can tell when teams look like they're worn down. It's like Golden State on this last run. They done. They was done. Their body started breaking down. They just went to the finals 5 straight years. LeBron James went to the finals like 9 straight years. That's a wear and tear on your body, man. Every year you playing in the finals, that takes a lot out of you. A lot out of you. And like I said, the Bulls was an older team. They were not a young team no more. This was the back half of the three-peats. So, it always would be the what if. Yeah, you hear people say they could have got that second one. I definitely believe they couldn't have got that second one. If they would have snuck a 7th, that 8th would have definitely been the loss. Because it would have been a problem with that young Shaq and Kobe. That young Shaq and Kobe, whew, I don't even know if I wanted to see my boys get whooped like that. That could have been a bad one there. That could have been a bad beating. Like, that could have been a bad beating. Like, that could have been real rough, And I think we forget just how tough that Pacers team was. Now, they didn't play that next season. People were quick to tell you, well, the Knicks made it to the finals. Pacers had key people that was hurt. They made a big deal on that squad. That's why they didn't get far enough in the playoffs or whatever. But I think we should just be grateful for what we had, 6 championships. That's a lot. I don't know if I'll ever see that run again in my lifetime on any team that I root for. 6 championships, 8 years, that level of dominance is just hard to do. It's hard to be great for that long. It's hard to sustain greatness for that long. That type of greatness is just hard to come by. But they did it, man. Them guys did it. They did it. And, but as I wrap up my take on just 9 and 10 overall, because, it was the flu game and we done heard about that a million times. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't believe that. I don't believe nobody no pizza. You ain't going to tell me Michael Jeffrey Jordan got food poisoning off some bad pizza. Come on now. This is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. You ain't allowing this man to eat nothing that ain't no test dummies done tried before he ate it. Come on. He's the most important person in Chicago. He just ain't eating some random pizza in Utah. Somebody named Vito making some random pizza at some random pizza shop in Utah, and that's what he ate in the middle of the night. Hey, I don't know what the truth is. I've heard different theories, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'll let others speculate, but I don't believe that story. But they tried. They tried to give you a story to run with. But what I also took away from the Last Dance was some people I felt like got short chains, and then I felt like some people didn't get what they thought they should have gotten. But ultimately, I think it was probably for the best. Like, if you watch The Last Dance, when did Steve Kerr when did he become so important? I feel like The Last Dance has been a reflection of who he is now. Steve Kerr was just a dude. They didn't even do a backstory on John Paxson. John Paxson is the real bull. When people think about the bull, the real shot is the Paxson shot in Phoenix. The Steve Kerr shot was all right. It was a tie game. We was about to lose in Phoenix. And John Paxson hit that shot. Like, John Paxson, they didn't show him as a little boy. We didn't find out what his daddy did. They didn't talk about Mama Paxson. But Steve Kerr got all that shine. I feel like that's all because of who he is now. Like, now y'all talking about Steve. The Last Dance talked about Steve. Steve Kerr got more shine. He got almost as much shine as Scottie Pippen did in The Last Dance. How? How could that happen? People walk away from The Last Dance thinking two things. Man, Steve Kerr was a tough dude. Steve Kerr is a soldier. And they think Scottie is a bum. Which is just not true. That's just not true at all. Scottie was that dude. Scottie had a bonehead moment. He had a bonehead moment. He didn't go in the game. That was bad. That'll always be bad. Scottie always had to own that. He'll always have to own that time. He can never get away from that. And then to say that I wouldn't do it differently, you can't say that, Scottie. You got to own that. You got to apologize to the people. You have to apologize to the people. You have to. You have to say, I felt bad about that. I would have done it differently. I'm older now. I'm wiser now. I wish he'd have said that, but he didn't. But it don't change his greatness, man. Scottie Pippen was a bad dude. And don't let nobody tell you different. He was a bad dude. And then you got Horace, who out here now defending himself on every podcast and show he can. He's saying Mike Jordan just flat out lying on him. I don't know if Jordan lying on him. I really don't. But the problem is he Mike Jordan, so people going to believe what he says. So if Jordan said it was Horace that was giving out the information, they're going to run with it was Horace. It don't have to be true, but Jordan said it. Jordan said it, so people going to believe it to be true. So Horace is going to lose that fight all the time because people ain't going to be clamoring to get him to come on their show to defend himself as well either because he don't have the name recognition like that. You know, other people, they can't wait to get on their show because Horace don't have a certain level of status. He just Horace Grant to a lot of people, which I feel like that's messed up, but that's just how the game go. Horace don't have no platform. He don't have a voice. So he got to just try to get his little message out there here and there to anybody who would listen to him. So I like Horace ultimately, man. Horace was great for the Bulls, man. I told you before, Horace's problem was Horace didn't have the best self-awareness. He struggled with self-awareness. He thought he was something that he wasn't. I told Horace he was a Chrysler 300. Horace thought he was a Bentley. And like I told y'all on 2 podcasts before, Chrysler 300 done got a lot of people where they want to go in style. But it ain't a Bentley. And that's all right. But you got to understand that. One takes 93 gas and one takes 87. It's just a difference. That's all. That's all it is. That's all. Premium, regular. But it's a difference. Look at the prices next time you're at the gas station. Premium costs a little bit more than that regular. Matter of fact, a lot more. So, but ultimately though, Horace, man, this will blow over and hopefully Horace can go on about his business and go back to living his life in peace and just kind of forget all about it. I doubt it. The other fella who I heard making a lot of gripes post Last Dance and during the Last Dance, Craig Hodges. Craig, come on now. You know they weren't going to put you on the Last Dance, Craig. Why we playing, dog? Sometimes we got to stop pretending acting like we was going to be on something when we knew we wasn't going to be on it. You knew good and well Mike Jordan wasn't going to let you be on the Last Dance. Can't trust you, Craig. Craig, you know who you is. You know who you are. You know what you are. You too militant, Craig. You not a Black Panther, but you Black Panther-ish. Like, Jordan can't trust you on camera talking about nothing. Because you done messed around, got up on camera and talking about South Africa and apartheid and Winnie and Nelson and Free Huey. You'd have been yelling out all type of random stuff. Talking about Trump is the devil. We can't have that on ABC, Craig. You messed up the whole Last Dance. Craig, this is about the Bulls. You talking about Trump is the devil. Cut that out. You got the Saints just looking at you like this boy done lost his mind. Done lost his mind. You already gonna be doing your interview in the dashiki, which ain't nothing wrong with the dashiki, but that's how you roll, Craig. You knew Jordan wasn't gonna fool with you like that. You knew that. You trying to act like you shocked, Craig. You know what you was acting like, Craig? You acting like an ex that didn't get invited to their ex's wedding. What made you think you was gonna get invited to the wedding, Craig? Don't nobody invite their ex to the wedding. Cause you don't trust. Why? You don't need to be here for this celebratory moment. You probably say something negative. You know when they ask that part, do anybody have anything to say before we go forward with this man and woman? You know how it go. You be the one to say something, Craig. Nobody can't trust what you gonna do. You would have did something crazy. Would have messed it up for everybody, dog. Craig, I love you, dog. I remember what you did. 3-point specialist, one of the baddest shooters in your day. But you weren't going to be on this Last Dance, dog. You, Brad Sellers, Dennis Hobson. Did you see Dennis? They ain't even let Cliff Good News Leviston be on there. They said it's chant all throughout the series. Didn't you hear it? What time is it? Game time. You ain't even show you Good News Leviston one time. Did you hear Good News talk one time? Did you hear him talk one time? Because they knew they could find anybody to do that. I think Scott Williams took it over. And then when Scott Williams was gone, I think it probably had Randy Brown or somebody took that over. So for all y'all who talking about, I ain't get a chance to be in the Last Dance, why they didn't come interview me? Come on, man. Come on, man. Everybody don't matter like that. I'm going to say something that ain't right. I know. I just said something that wasn't right. Everybody don't matter like that. You don't. It's just true. It's just the truth, dog. You know, like when you see a concert, I'll give you a prime example. My mom used to get tickets back in the day from Wards. And one of the things, we go to the Bulls game, and they have like a pregame meeting. They have like a pregame dinner, And they have players that be down there. But you know the players who would come to that pregame meal? It was guys like Gene Banks, Brad Sellers, Dave Corzine. You know the kid looking at when you see them dudes coming to pregame dinner and you thought you was going to meet some real Bulls players? You looking like this here. This is a tall dude. That's all you are. You ain't no ball player. You're a tall dude. So that's what some of y'all are. Some of y'all just tall dudes. I hate to tell you. We still love you, but some of y'all are just tall dudes. So, hey, that's it for this week's podcast. Once again, man, it's for you, Gus. I hope you appreciated this, man. I love you. The family always love you. So thankful for you. You embraced me. You always showed me love. You was always respectful to me. I always showed you respect. He's a good dude, man. You really was. Misunderstood at times, but you was a good man. And I know God's got you. And gonna hold the family together best of my abilities. Love you, brother. Love you. But before I go, as always, I'd like to give you one last scripture. Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all who labor, heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That's it for Coach D in the starting five. As always, stay blessed, stay safe. Till next time.